Hello, good morning, everyone. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Can you hear me? Good morning, sir. Chinedu, thank you for joining. I see Somto Okay. Good morning, sir. Thank you for joining. Yusuf, good morning, sir. Musliuddin, good morning to you, sir. Thank you for joining us. All right. I believe you can hear me and the audio is solid. Okay. So let's get started right away. It's already about 7 minutes gone past schedule. Good morning once again, everyone that has joined us today. Good morning, ladies. Good morning, gentlemen. Good morning, traders. And if it's your first time as well, good morning to you too. You're most welcome. And it's great to have you join us today. I hope we're doing very well. It's another brand new trading week. And of course, this is our morning market review. And this session holds every day from Monday to Friday, 8 a.m. So every day, Monday to Friday from 8, you get to meet with our top analysts for this session. And on this forum every day, we get to look at what's going on in the markets in terms of fundamentals as well as technicals, with a view to understand what's going on in the markets. This is also with the hope that we'll be able to pick one or two entries during these sessions and some assets that we can also add for our watch list for today and for the rest of the week as well. Good morning to you, Ma. Uh, so I always also mention that it's also with the hope that when you have listened long enough, you're also able to come up with your own profitable strategies that give you an edge over the markets. All right, let's get right to it without further ado. And like we always do, we're going to start with the majors, the major pairs. That is pairs with USD as one of the currencies. And from there, we start looking, examining other pairs that we are interested in for uh, trade opportunities and the assets that we can also add to our watch list, like I said. All right, let's see if we have, we're going to head over to forexfactory.com, the preferred economic calendar, to see if we have any high impact news for today that may impact prices. So I'm going to switch to forexfactory.com. Just a second. Forexfactory.com. All right, we have it right there, forexfactory.com. Okay. Of course, you can see the time on the website is different from what I have as a laptop time. So if you have that, if you come across this, what you simply do, if you click on the time, change this to plus GMT plus 1. Where are you? Okay, West Central Africa, your time format preference, and then save settings. Okay, now we have the correct time right there. Okay, so let's head over to, okay, today, November 19. So let's just say this week, and then we'll focus on today. Apply settings, filter. Okay, that's okay. Tuesday, November 19. 1:30 a.m., 11 a.m., monetary policy report hearings. Okay, this would be of interest, 2:30 p.m. for the Canadian dollar. We have CPI, of course, quite important for the card. Uh, a brief about that. At 2:30 p.m., we're going to have inflation data from Canada. Of course, it's no longer news that major economies globally are trying really hard to tackle inflation. And the CPI data expected later today for the card. Let's see. Just a second. Okay. Of course, the CPI is an important economic indicator that is used to determine the rate of inflation. So, like I said, major economies are battling with inflation, and this would be a good one to focus on for the card. It is released on a regular basis. It gives a very timely glimpse to measure growth rates and levels of inflation. A higher inflation rate simply means that your money buys less because everything costs more. So the consumer price index specifically looks at purchasing power and how fast the prices of goods and services are rising in an economy. Okay, so for today, for Canada's CPI, the previous value at minus 0.4%, forecast 0.3%. Okay, so what this means is that when it's released by 2:30 p.m., if the actual result, this is what we are interested in, if the actual result far exceeds this forecast value, this would indicate an increase in inflationary pressures, and this would likely lead to a stronger Canadian dollar. And therefore, if you're looking at pairs like the pound card, and we have card uh, coming out strong for this data, that means pound card would be bearish for that period. And then yeah, it will lead to a stronger card if it comes out stronger at 2:30 p.m. Okay. On the other hand, the Canadian dollar would weaken if the CPI data falls short of the expected value, and this would indicate less inflationary pressure than expected. So for 2:30 p.m., we're going to focus on the Canadian dollar. We have the CPI quite important. It's really of interest. Arubi says go next. We have not even started technicals at all. Musliudin notices a head and shoulder on USD JPY and H4. It's valuable, then how to take advantage of it. Okay, that's fantastic. We'll check that out very soon, because head and shoulder pattern is that's a bearish reversal pattern that usually gives a very fantastic trade opportunity once it plays out as expected. So we're going to check it out for USD JPY, as you said. All right. So that's it for fundamentals. 2:30 p.m. Canadian dollar will be of interest. So let's stop this and head over to technicals right about now. Okay, let's share my screen for MT4. Okay. Okay, let's check out USD JPY according to Muslim Din on H4. Okay, think I see it too. Okay, all right. That's correct. Your observation is right, Muslim Din. However, we're not just going to treat this the way it is right now. For what would further strengthen the head and shoulder pattern that we are seeing. So let's just call it a potential head and shoulder pattern. So here we have the head, we have the left shoulder, and then we have the right shoulder. All right. So for this to be complete and be a perfect setup, we now need this. We now need this to break below the neckline. We now need this to break below the neckline. And that would be this area. Okay. All right. So for the head and shoulder pattern to be complete, remember we saw this same pattern on okay, the inverse of it on Euro AUD, and then we saw head and shoulder pattern on gold. Let's see. Insert shapes. I want to use this to point it out. This is gold, by the way. I want to use this to point out head and shoulder. All right. So here we can see the head, we have the left shoulder, and then we have the right shoulder. So we're waiting at that time for price to break below the neckline so that the head and shoulder can be complete, so that the head and shoulder is complete. And then, of course, this candle give us that break below the neckline, this red candle here. This red candle here give us that close below the neckline, and that was our trigger to short gold at that time, and then that gave us a perfect fantastic pips over 1000 pips if you measure it, that move right there. And then thanks to the election too, it also pretty much pushed that as well. Okay, so if your observation here, that's mostly now, also plays out just like what we saw on gold, then it's also going to create a very fantastic trade opportunity. So for this to play out, we now need a break below the neckline, just as we got that on gold. We also need to see that right here to confirm the head and shoulder pattern. So we need price to break below the neckline, and then we're going to ride the trend all the way down. Okay. So what we need to look out for here is a break below the neckline. All right. I hope you got that. Maduemisia. I hope I got that right. D30. Okay. All right. Fantastic, Muslim. Then Euro USD. Okay, definitely we'll get there. All right. So I just have to quickly check out the head and shoulder pattern for Musliudeen. Okay, so let's this is USD index now. Of course, I like to understand the direction here for the dollar index, and then once we understand the direction of the dollar index, we can relate this to other major pairs. Okay, so what's happening here? Remember, we got bullish when price created this high right here. Throughout this period, we have a low, a lower high, a lower low, all the way to this low right here. And then don't forget, I remember also highlighting the price below 100.6, below 100.6 to further confirm the bullish move that we saw on the USD index. If you go back to what happened here, middle of 2023, I've highlighted this several times. You see, price broke below 100.6. Throughout this period, you will see that price has stayed above 100.6 since the beginning of 2023. Middle of 2023, price broke below 100.6. We got a close back above 100.6, and then we saw that aggressive rally to 107 right here. And then fast forward to end of 2023, price came back to 100.6. And what happened again? We got another rally towards 107. Okay, and then this is middle of 2024. Price returned to 100.6 level, broke below it, created a fake out, closed back above 100.6, and then yet another aggressive rally to 107. Very fantastic. Technicals. All right, so right about now, this is pretty much expected. Price got to 107, and then we're seeing this pullback. Of course, even though this has been very aggressive, it is also not immune to pullbacks. Now, this pullback found support at 106, found support at 106. So let's look back to see if this 106 level is also significant. Okay. All right, you would agree with me that it is. Right here as well. Okay. So what does this mean? What this simply means is that as long as price, this is US dollar index, daily time frame, don't forget to understand the overall direction, and then we can tune down to a much lower one for entry opportunities. So now price has found support at 106 level. So what does this mean? As long as price stays above 106 level, that means we can expect further push to the upside. We can expect more push, maybe back to 107, or eventually we get a break above 107, and then price continues to push higher. However, if eventually what we see is a break below 106, then what that would imply is that we're going to get a much deeper pullback. We're going to see a much deeper pullback, maybe towards level like 104.5 or lower, depending on how this plays out eventually. But if price can stay above 106 level, then there is a very high tendency that we see a push to the upside, maybe a retest of 107 level, and then eventually if price breaks above 107, then the bullish move, the rally would definitely continue. All right, so that's it for USD index. Having said that, now let's head over to Euro USD, which is simply an inverse of the dollar index. Okay. So what's happening here? Okay, for our Euro USD now, or Euro USD, this trend line support is one that we have been watching, dates back to end of 2023. You see, it acted as support for price. Fast forward to this period, acted as support. Back here again, acted as support, even here as support. And eventually, we got that close below that trend line, which is very significant. And then if you also look at the structure that we have here, from this high here, from this high now, that's around 1.12, 1.12. Right. From this high, we got a double top. Right there, we got a double top, and then, of course, that's a bearish reversal pattern. And what happened after that? This fantastic move to the downside. We got that low, we got a lower high, and then a lower low. Okay. Now, of course, this right here, what we are seeing currently is a pullback. What we're seeing currently is a pullback. This is still the bearish move here is still very much intact. It's still very much intact. And then we have this resistance to contend with. So what it means is that Euro USD bulls have this resistance to contend with. Okay. So what that means is that from this resistance now, if what we have, this is the daily time frame to understand the overall direction. So if what we have at the end of today is a bearish reversal pattern from this resistance level, don't forget, I've said that the bulls, the Euro USD bulls, have this level to contend with, this resistance level at 1.0615. So if we get it close above this resistance, then we can expect further push higher. We can expect price to push higher towards levels like 1.078 and maybe 1.09. Okay. However, the USD index is still currently bullish. Don't forget, we have said that as long as it stays above this 106 level, then we can expect further push to the upside towards level like 107. If we get a break above that eventually, then it continues to push higher. Okay, so if at the end of today, this is the daily time frame, we get a bearish reversal pattern, then what that would signify is that the bearish move is still very much intact, and then I would expect price to come back to push to this level at around 1.04575. All right. So let's tune down to a lower time frame to see what we have. Let's start with 4 hours. Okay, it's beginning to look bearish, It's below the 50 period moving average. On 1 hour, what do we have? Okay, this is what we have on 1 hour. Don't forget, this is the same resistance level of interest that we saw on the daily time frame. So on this 1 hour time frame, okay, let's push down a little. 30 minutes now, and even 15 minutes. Okay, so on 15 minutes time frame, it's already below the 50 period moving average. All right. Okay, so I have this trend line too on 15 minutes. Here, price tested it. We have this range around that trend line. Here as support, here as support, here as support, here as support as well. Price pushed up. but couldn't sustain it. And then we have this long bearish candle right here, breaking below the trend line. So if we get a bearish reversal pattern below this trend line, and while price is below the 50-period moving average, that would be our trigger to sell. That would be our trigger to sell. So on the 15 minutes time frame now, currently price is below this trend line. Can see this trend line here with this long red candle. So we now need to wait for more confirmation, which may be a bearish reversal pattern here, or price breaking below this level. Right, that would be our trigger to short Euro USD. However, if we get a close back above the trend line, then we can expect price to push even higher from the current level. So two things here on the 15 minutes time frame. This is like a summary now so that it helps us to understand it. We started from the daily time frame, and then on the daily time frame, we are using that time frame to understand the overall direction that we have for Euro USD. And based on the structure that we saw on the daily time frame, it's bearish. If it's bearish on the daily time frame, what it means is that we're looking for opportunities to sell. We're looking for opportunities to sell. And that opportunity to sell, we're also looking for the best price to get in. We're looking for the best price to get in. And then on the 15 minutes time frame, we have this trend line. We have this trend line on the 15 minutes time frame. Here it acted as support, as support, as support, as support. And then eventually we have this long bearish candle. And also price is below the 50-period moving average. So at this current level now, if eventually we get it close below this support level, that would be our trigger to short, to sell Euro USD. All right. Hope we get that. So that's it for Euro USD. Let's head over to Pound USD, similar to I will be okay. We're still going to look at it. We're still going to look at gold, definitely. All right. Pound USD now. Pound USD. Okay. We also have this bearish move. You would agree with me. And I remember price was at this level 30.50. I'm going to highlight it in a minute. We were here sometime last week. We were looking at this level at that time. Right. We saw this consolidation right here. We saw this consolidation right here from resistance to support, back to resistance, back to support, back to resistance, back to support. And then eventually we got a break below that support level. We got a break below that support level. And after this red candle here, we also got a follow-through candle, this one right here. And then that confirmed the bearish move. And that gave us that's over 100 pips. That's over 100 pips. I remember highlighting this level to us on this forum last week. So if you caught that, 0.26. Price found support at 1.26, and then we have resistance back here at 1.27. So what does that mean? Again, this is the daily time frame. We want to, first of all, understand the overall direction before we start looking for entry opportunities. Okay. So this is Pound USD on the daily time frame. Found support at 1.26, retesting resistance at 1.27. Again, because it is bearish, we have this bearish move, we got this consolidation, and then a lower low right here. Okay, so price is now back at this resistance. Now let's head over to a much lower time frame. Again, this is still dependent on the dollar index remaining above 106. Don't forget, we said this. If it breaks below 106, that would mean that we're going to get a much deeper pullback. And for pairs like Euro USD, Pounds USD, it means they will be bullish if USD index closes below 106 level. All right, so let's go back to Pounds USD. Again, on 15 minutes time frame. Notice it is similar to Euro USD. They are positively correlated. All right. So again, Pound USD 15 minutes time frame. We have this trend line. We have this trend line support here as support, right here as support as well, and then right here as support. And currently, it is above, price is trading above the 50 period moving average. Okay. So on this 15 minutes time frame now, boils down to two things. Number one, we need to see a break below that trend line to confirm the bearish move. And then that would be our trigger to go short. That would be our trigger to short Pounds USD. Okay. If on the other hand, what we get is a close above this trend line resistance, then we can expect price to push higher, maybe towards maybe we get a retest of 1.27 level. Those are the two things I'll be looking out for on Pounds USD on the 15 minute time frame. Number one, on this 15 minute time frame, we have this trend line support. Price has tested it multiple times. So number one, if we get a break below the support, that would be our trigger to short. If on the other hand, what we get is a close above the trend line resistance, then that would be our trigger to buy towards levels like 1.27. And then if we get a close above 1.27, we continue to buy. All right. That's for Pounds USD. USD card played out as expected. If you cut it, let's see. I pointed this out on the weekly time frame. This sideways movement, this consolidation on the weekly time frame, see it? Okay, from this level. I can take this out so you understand it. Yeah, so I pointed this out to us, this consolidation. Since 2022, price has been trading within resistance 1.387 and support around 1.32, around 1.32. Okay, and then fast forward to this period, fast forward to somewhere around here, we got a break above that resistance sometime towards the end of October. We got a break above the resistance of that range. And then that was our trigger to buy. That was our trigger to buy. And then our price retested 1.387, and then we're seeing a follow through. Okay, so for USD CAD, of course, it's still very much bullish. So we're looking for opportunities to buy. We're looking for opportunities to buy. What we're currently seeing here is a pullback. How deep is the pullback going to go? This is the daily time frame. We may get a retest of this 1.395 level. We get a retest of this 1.395 level, and then we may see price push higher from that level. That's daily time frame. Let's look at what we have in 15 minutes. Okay, so this is the 15 minutes time frame for USD CAD. And then what I'll look out for, what I need to see here would be one, a close below the trend line. If that happens, then it means that we may likely get that pullback towards 1.39, as I highlighted here. So if we get it close below that trend line, then we may expect further push to the downside towards that support level at 1.395. If, on the other hand, we see price closing above the 50 period moving average, if price pushes above the 50 period moving average, then it may be a signal that the bullish move is about to continue. So we can join that. So we need to see some bullish setup around this trend line. We need to see some bullish setup around this trend line. So if eventually price closes below the trend line, then we may expect further push to the downside towards the support level here that I highlighted on the daily time frame. Price may push back to this support level if we get a close below that trend line on 15 minutes. Okay. All right. So let's look at gold. Let's look at gold before we go back to NZD USD. Let's quickly look at gold. All right. So for gold, it started from here, price a few pips to this high here at 2,800. And from that level, it gave us head and shoulder pattern. I remember I started from here because of what someone pointed out. That was mostly Dane pointed out head and shoulder pattern on USD JPY 4 hours time frame. And then I was comparing it to what we have here on gold, also on the 4 hours time frame. All right, so here we have the head, we have the left shoulder, and then we have the right shoulder. And then at that time, we're waiting for price to break below the neckline. Of course, we got that, and now give us over 1,000 pips on gold. Very, very fantastic. And I really hope that we caught that. Okay, and of course, we have this bearish structure here. We have low, we have lower high, we got lower low, and then we have lower high. Now, let's check that lower high level. This is 4 hours time frame now. Let's check that lower high level. Okay, so we can look back to see if it's an important level. So we're looking at this green horizontal line. This one here at around 26.25. So 625. Okay. Okay, we have some consolidation here around 26.25. Let's head back more. Even here, right here as well, right here as well as support. And even here, we have some sideways movement at around 26.25. Okay, that's showing us that the 26.25 level is quite significant. Okay, so what's the expectation? Don't forget, we have a bearish structure here. And if we have a bearish structure, what it means is that we're looking for opportunities to sell. We have, we can see lower highs and lower lows on the 4 hours time frame. All right, so we're looking for opportunities to sell. We're looking for opportunities to sell. And currently, this 26.25 level is acting as resistance, currently acting as resistance. So if at the end, this is the 4 hours time frame, if at the end of these 4 hours, we get a bearish pattern, then we can expect the bearish move to continue. We can expect the bearish move to continue. All right. So let's see what it looks like on 15 minutes. Okay, on 15 minutes, we already have this bearish engulfing candle. We already have this bearish engulfing candle. Okay, so you see this is still very much bearish. Now, if we tested 26.25, and if price stays below 26.25, then we can expect this to push to the downside. We can expect this to push to the downside. What would invalidate this setup would be if we get a close back above 26.25, then that would invalidate the bearish outlook that we currently have on gold. Okay. I hope you understand that. So again, this is the 4 hours time frame. And like I said, if at the end of these 4 hours, we get a bearish pattern right here, then we can expect further push to the downside, maybe towards levels like 2600. A break below that would expose 2530. So at the end of these 4 hours, this boils down to whether we see a bearish reversal pattern right here. If we get that, then price will push lower. That's for gold. So now let's go back to, okay. Yeah, Arubi, you have your answers right there. You have your answers right there. Idris Badamasi, good morning to you, sir. If US index is strong, does that mean that US indices will be weak? Okay. Now, for the US indices, yes, the answer to your question, in summary, is yes. The answer to your question for Idris Badamasi is yes. The answer to your question is yes. However, what we're currently seeing for the US indices, we're seeing a post-election crash. The rally that we got as a result of the election seem over currently. And the reason we have this right now, I believe, is as a result of the comments by the US Federal Reserve Bank Chairman John Powell, who said that he doesn't see any reason to reduce interest rates at the moment. And if rates don't go down, we may not see a long rally. So what happened, what we saw, that bullish move we saw for the US indices was as a result of the US election, the kind of confidence that people had in Trump gave rise to what we saw for the US indices. Of course, those indices too are not immune to pullbacks. And that let's see what we have for the US 30. Let's see what we have for US 30 daily time frame. Okay, it was on the 4 hours time frame that we saw this trend line. This fantastic trend line gave us a fantastic trade opportunity when price closed below that trend line. All right, so as a result of the election, we got this aggressive rally, and then price pushed to what's here now? Yeah, this high, 44,550, 44,550. Okay. Now, if you look at the structure that we have here, this is the daily time frame. If you look at the structure that we have here, this is bullish. This is bullish. If you look at the structure here, it is bullish. We are seeing a series of higher highs and higher lows up until this high at 44,550. Okay, so this right there, of course, is a pullback, and then this pullback is also back to this support level right here. Okay, so currently, this is the daily time frame. If at the end of today, because it's a daily time frame, if at the end of today we get a bullish reversal pattern here at this current level, then we can expect price to push back to this resistance at 44,550. We can expect price to push back towards 44,550. That's on the daily time frame. Now let's see what it looks like on 4 hours. Again, what would invalidate this, what would cancel this is if price remains below this level, 43,577. Okay. So on 4 hours, what does it look like? Okay, price is still pretty much around this level. We have more of a sideways movement right there. Have more of a sideways movement. And then when price retested the high at 44,550, we're beginning to see some bearish structure here. See, and now we have sideways movement. Okay, so this is 4 hours. This is 4 hours. How about 1 hour? Okay, you see that bearish move on 1 hour. And then 30 minutes. Let's stay on 30 minutes. Okay, so 30 minutes time frame for US 30. 30 minutes time frame for US 30. So what I need to see here, number one, we have resistance here. We have resistance here around 43,613, and then this trend line support as well. So number one, I need to see a break above the resistance or below the trend line support. Depending on which direction this breaks out would determine how I approach this, Number one, I need to see a break above this resistance at 43,613, and then that would mean that the bullish move is set to continue. However, if what we see is a close below this trend line support, then we can expect a much deeper pullback. We can expect a much deeper pullback. So that's what I'm going to be waiting for on US30 to see how it plays out, and then in which direction to trade, What do we have? This is for gold, I believe. For ROB, I believe this is for gold. But I believe you're referring to gold. Okay, yes, you're referring to gold, and yes, you should still hold your sell positions. You still hold your sell position. Currently, it's now at resistance. So from this level, we can expect price to push to the downside. I see AUD card, I see DE40. Okay, let's see. Do I have DE40 chart here? I don't. Okay. We have a fan of DE40. Okay, what do we have here for DE40? Okay, of course, pretty much bullish. See it. We have highs and higher highs. See it. Right, so it's pretty much bullish. All right. So daily time frame now. This level here, as support. This level here is currently acting as support. This is our 50 period moving average. Price is around it. H4, what do we have? Okay, on H4 time frame, we see this price is below 50 period moving average, and then we see this bearish candle right here. We see this bearish candle right here. So there's a very high tendency that price returns to this support, and then at that support level, if we get a reversal pattern, we need to see a bullish reversal pattern back at 19,140 support level, and that would be our trigger to buy. That would be our trigger to buy. That's for DE40. That's for DE40. For Euro USD, we're waiting for okay, price is already below the trend line support, so we now need to wait for price to break this level, so that we can short Euro USD. USD JPY, of course, bullish, here acting as support. So we need some more confirmation before we buy. We need some more confirmation before we buy. Maybe a pullback towards this support level or a break above the 50-period moving average would be our trigger to buy. All right. I'm sure this is a good place to leave it. This is a good place to leave it. US 100 is similar to what we did for US 30. So you can use the idea for US 30 to approach US 100 as well. All right. Thank you very much for joining us today. I hope we've been able to identify from the list of assets that we have touched, one or two that we can add to our watch list for today and even for the rest of the week. It's been a great time with us today. Join us same time tomorrow from 8 a.m. for another edition of our morning market review. Thank you for joining. Have a great trading day.